Can you pray for a politician to be unalive if you don't like what he or she is doing? Just take a look.
Have you been praying for Trump to get sick?
No. I've been praying for Trump to die.
How can you say that?
I spent 8 years praying for his heart to break open, and at this point, I think the best thing for him to do would be die peacefully in his sleep.
Tell us politics is your God without telling us that politics is your God.
How can you, a Christian, pray for the death of somebody else?
Is one human life equal to another?
What?
Ah, yes. Let's come up with an absurd moral dilemma that only bears a passing resemblance to the actual issue at hand. By all means, continue.
Are we all equal children of God, or are some of us more equal than others? We're all equal in the eyes of God, so we shouldn't pray for harm to come to anyone, right? Yeah? Okay. What if one person is harming a bunch of other people?
How?
Let's say one person in your town has a button, and every time they get cranky, they press that button, and a random person in your town dies.
Well, that's terrible. This person needs to be stopped.
I agree. Would it be Christian to pray that this button presser is stopped? I suppose it would.
Here's a radical thought. How about we just take away the button?
It's not a decision I make lightly. Life is precious.
Warning, incoming virtue signaling that's going to be used to soften the landing for a ridiculous and immoral argument.
Violence also is like a raging fire. We have to be incredibly careful with how we use it because it wants to spread to every part of our life.
We have to be incredibly careful with how we use it? Thanks for clearing that up. I'm so glad we could ignore all that stuff that Jesus said about blessed are the peacemakers.
Violence is a fast way to gain power. When people are scared of you, they'll do what you want.
But it's totally cool to ask God to be as violent as necessary to stop people who don't share your political opinions.
However, it's antithetical to a Christian life. Jesus always calls on us to sacrifice, not to gain power for ourselves by hurting others.
Oh, we finally got something right.
So Christians should never engage in violence. I have a great deal of respect for Christians who are fully pacifist, who will never engage in violence.
But
However, when I think about the situation, I have to weigh the sin of inaction against the sin of violence.
in other words, forget the Bible and adopt an unchristian and unbiblical utilitarian approach. I guess Jesus was just joking when he commanded people to love their enemies. What a kidder.
Trump cutting U.S. aid would kill millions of people whose lives would be saved if he just left that program in place, as every president before him has done.
Right, because U.S. aid is the only thing keeping these people alive. No other country, organization, or private charity is going to give anything to these poor, benighted souls who apparently have no ability to even take care of themselves. Why stop at millions? Why not make it tens of millions? Or something else even more insane, like Trump is going to unalive 1 in 6 people on planet Earth. I mean, if he's such an existential threat to the human race, can you even be too over the top?
I'm not even talking about all the other harm that he continues to cause. Just his cuts to U.S. aid should warrant this kind of response, in my opinion.
Yes, throw in some vague comment about Trump's supposed malfeasance for good measure.
So you think Trump's health issues are a curse from God? Maybe.
We may oppose policies we believe are harmful to others, but our opposition must reflect Christ's character. Paul reminds us, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Pastor Paul has violated this command because he literally just said we have to weigh one sin against another. And that's part of his worldview. Pastor Paul is from the Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is one of the most progressive denominations in the world. When it comes to biblical authority, progressive Christians are quick to reject clear instructions from the Bible in favor of a pragmatic or utilitarian approach whenever it suits them. Basically, it's a viewpoint that says, essentially, I do what I want, and I believe what I want, and I use the Bible as window dressing for my viewpoints, which often come more from social and political ideologies than they do from God's Word. So maybe Pastor Paul should stop praying for Trump to die and spend all that extra time reading his Bible.